When you mentioned Gallup, New Mexico, I thought, well, something happened in Gallup, wow.
A deadly bus crash in New Mexico, and it was scheduled to make a stop in the Coachella Valley. We have up-to-the-minute details and reaction.
New video of a murder suspect leaving the scene of a crime. Why police are asking for the public's help in solving this case.
We're learning more about a murder victim's relationship with his accused killers and how the crime is connected to the 29 Palms Marine Base.
Now from the Desert's news leader, this is News Channel 3, first at 10 on Fox 11. Your local news 1 hour earlier.
Good evening, I'm Karen Devine.
And I'm John White. At least 7 people now reported dead tonight, and dozens are being treated at hospitals in New Mexico in this horrific crash. The wreckage showing just how strong the impact was when a semi-truck hit a Greyhound bus head-on. That bus was scheduled to stop right here in the Coachella Valley tonight. We first brought you live breaking news coverage on this crash on News Channel 3 live at 5 over on KESQ. Tonight, News Channel 3's Lauren Coronado is live in Indio with new details on the crash and reaction from Valley locals who often ride Greyhound. Lauren, that same bus was scheduled to stop right there where you are right around this time tonight.
Yeah, John, it was actually supposed to be here right now. Of course, a lot of passengers' journeys cut short because of that terrible crash earlier today. And here's their story.
The bus was coming westbound in the westbound lane. Truck was going eastbound in the eastbound lane.
49 on board, multiple killed, and nearly all others rushed to nearby hospitals. Drivers capturing the horrific scene.
Oh, God, that was a woman. God bless them.
Debris scattered all over the I-40 between Gallup and Granson, New Mexico. Police say a semi-truck's tire blew out, launching the truck into oncoming traffic, slamming head-on into this Greyhound bus. A third car left mangled on the side of the highway. One witness explaining the chaos over the phone.
It was a disaster. You could tell that people were distressed. Screams were coming from the bus, which is horrible.
The bus was going to Phoenix en route to Los Angeles and scheduled to make a stop in Indio.
When you mentioned Gallup, New Mexico, I thought, well, something happened in Gallup, wow.
Miguel Ramirez used to live near Gallup, taking the same route this bus was on several times before.
It happens a lot in the I-40. A lot of semis do have a lot of accidents in between Gallup and Albuquerque, but never think of an accident that bad on a Greyhound bus.
Others at the Greyhound stop in Indio sharing their concerns.
There's always a risk when you're driving. I do have to look at my safety for my kids, and since I have taken my kids on the bus, it is a really big concern.
People sending well wishes to those involved.
I pray for their families and hope that they get a recovery, and I'm sorry to hear about that, and that's a tragic.
It's going to take investigators quite a while to go through and actually identify who was sitting where and who were the drivers and who were the passengers.
I know not everybody in that bus is doing okay. When they arrive here tonight, if they do get here tonight, they're not going to be happy, scared, wondering if they should go back home on the Greyhound or not.
Yeah, and there's actually another bus coming from New Mexico that's expected to stop here around 12 o'clock, around midnight. Of course, majority of the people who were on that bus are in the hospital tonight, hopefully recovering. We do know 6 people have died tonight. There is a hotline, actually several different hotlines available right now. And actually, I'm going to say there are 7 people confirmed dead tonight. There is a hotline available to anyone with questions, anyone who believes that one of their family members may have been a victim. You can find all of those numbers on our website. Reporting live in Indio, Lauren Coronado, News Channel 3.
Thank you, Lauren. First at 10, we're learning more about the man whose body was found in Joshua Tree National Park and his relationship to the 2 people charged with his murder. Detectives located the body of 54-year-old Henry Stang of Murrieta on June 2nd in a shallow grave. According to his sister, Stang, a ham radio personality, was dating one of the 2 suspects arrested in his murder. Officials suspect that 27-year-old Ashley Stapp and 29 Palms Marine Curtis Kruger killed him earlier this year. The pair were arrested for investigation of conspiracy and for the murder of Stang. Bail is set at $1 million apiece. They're set to be arraigned tomorrow in Murrieta. And tonight, Newsweek magazine is reporting a number of 29 Palms Marines who are students at the Marine Corps Communication Electronics School allegedly involved in a drug ring involving close to 100 students. Military sources told Newsweek that a Marine used Venmo, the mobile payment service owned by PayPal, to exchange payments for Sour Patch Kids candy laced with LSD and heroin. We're expecting to get a statement from the Training Command Center regarding these allegations on Tuesday. Stay with News Channel 3 on the air and online as we continue to dig for more information.
Cathedral City Police are releasing new video in hopes of finding a suspect in connection with the shooting death of a well-known martial arts instructor back in March. Police say this video shows a suspect getting out of a vehicle and walking up to the home of the victim, Raymond Diaz, on Whispering Palms Trail. The suspect is also seen running from Diaz's home and driving away. Diaz's death shook the local martial arts community. If you have any information on who the person is in the video, you should call Cathedral City Police.
A pedestrian is dead tonight after being hit by a car this afternoon in Indio. Police say it happened at Avenue 48 and Madison Street around 3:30 this afternoon. The westbound lanes of Avenue 48 were closed while police investigated. No word on the person's identity or the cause of that crash. Stay with News Channel 3 for any new developments.
So far, so good this week as far as our weather goes for late August. First Alert meteorologist Patrick Evans in for Haley this week, tracking your conditions. And Patrick, still warm, but we're getting a nice long break from that sauna-like weather we were having.
Oh, yeah. You know, most of July, a lot of August, very, very humid. That monsoonal flow moving in. Well, it moved out for the last week of August. And as we kick off September, things look pretty good. Winds are coming out of the northwest. They're a little breezy here outside of the studios in Thousand Palms, also up in Desert Hot Springs. But as you move south of the freeway, they calm down. It promises to be another beautiful day tomorrow. Mostly clear skies, relatively dry. The humidity and dew points are low, and they should stay that way. We're in the 90s right now. The high today was 108. The average for the day is 105. So we were a bit above average, but I think we're going to see that kind of turn around as we cruise through the beginning of this weekend. The Labor Day weekend actually looks very comfortable with overnight lows that are running in the mid-70s. I'll show you all of that coming up in my First Alert forecast.
Patrick, thank you. A repeal of California's gas tax is sure to be a hot-button issue on this November's ballot.
Next on News Channel 3, how some local leaders are joining forces to oppose Proposition 6.
And some people are boycotting In-N-Out after the burger chain donated money to the Republican Party here in California. You're watching The Desert's news leader, first at 10 on Fox 11. Firefighters, construction workers, and engineers joined local leaders in Cathedral City today to voice their opposition to Proposition 6, the repeal of the state's gas tax. No on Prop 6, rally organizers voiced safety concerns for roads and bridges. If passed, more than 6,000 statewide transportation projects currently underway or planned to get done will be eliminated. 600 of those projects taking place in the Coachella Valley and Inland Empire. If funding were to be cut, organizers say it could be risky.
I think it's important to vote no because I want our roads and bridges funded. In this county, in this country, the infrastructure is falling apart. People are conned into thinking that paying taxes is bad for them. Actually, paying taxes for infrastructure, for schools, for these kinds of programs is good for all of us.
To learn more about both sides on Proposition 6, visit our website, KESQ.com.
Some residents in India are upset tonight over discolored, smelly water coming out of their faucets. Dozens of people posted photos online and have called into our newsroom. Take a look at some of these images. People filling their toilets, sinks, tubs, even a pitcher with a brownish water. Residents in the area say it's been this way for more than a day. They say they were told by the water authority that the water is safe to use and drink.
It just does not feel right. It has a really, really strong metallic smell. It's super brown, and I actually noticed some dirty rust particles in the water as well.
The water company said it would go away and it was good to drink, but I don't drink brown water.
The India Water Authority issued a statement saying the discoloration was caused by sediment kicking up when they reactivated a nearby well. And after flushing out their system, they say the problem is now resolved.
A proposed boycott against fast food restaurant In-N-Out after it was discovered the chain donated to California's Republican Party. In-N-Out Burger reportedly donated $25,000 to California Republicans on Monday. Now some people are talking about a boycott. Others do not have a problem with this donation.
Personally, I don't have any problem with that, so that's fine.
You still gonna eat it In-N-Out?
Yeah, I like In-N-Out.
You should be able to support whoever you want to support. It's a free country, and that's where we live, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, the line hasn't dwindled out there. We have one right around the corner. In-N-Out issued a statement saying it has donated equal amounts to both parties in California this year, saying, quote, "We believe that bipartisan support is a fair and consistent approach that best serves the interests of our company and all of our customers."
Memorial services for Senator John McCain are now continuing in the nation's capital.
He could not stand the abuse of power, to paraphrase Shakespeare. We shall not see his like again.
Next on News Channel 3, how the late senator is being remembered by more than politicians.
And in our forecast, skies nice and clear, temperatures in check, and the dew points fairly low. That's what we're looking ahead for your Labor Day weekend forecast. I'll have it for you in just a few minutes.
Senator John McCain's body is back in Washington, D.C. tonight after a memorial service today in Phoenix. As Elizabeth Herr reports, the tributes and services for the senator are now moving to the nation's capital.
Senator John McCain arriving at Joint Base Andrews to a solemn ceremony by a military honor guard. Defense Secretary James Mattis also on the ground paying tribute with the McCain family. This marking the senator's final journey to Washington after leaving Arizona, his adopted home state.
Amazing grace.
Where earlier in the day,
I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race.
Family and friends.
I'm black. He was white. I'm young. He wasn't so young. He celebrated differences.
Honored the sixth-term senator for his values in life.
And he could not stand the abuse of power.
While Vice President and his close friend Joe Biden praised McCain for his patriotism.
He believed in the American people, to paraphrase Shakespeare. We shall not see his like again.
And the moving memorial service.
I did it my way.
Coming to a close with Frank Sinatra's My Way music McCain chose himself. McCain's body will now lie in state at the U.S. Capitol tomorrow, which will be open to the public following a ceremony where Vice President Pence is scheduled to speak. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, Washington.
Now, First Alert Weather.
We have had a lovely day thus far, despite the fact we were a couple of degrees above average. We didn't see the kind of cloud cover that we saw earlier in the week, the high thin clouds. The humidity thinned out nicely in the afternoon, even though we did see some southeasterly breezes early today, which kind of brought up a touch of moisture. If you travel in this Labor Day weekend, you're going to find very comfortable conditions from the coast to the mountains. And here in the desert, while we are going to be warm, still going to be pretty terrific. Right now we're at 94 degrees. Humidity is at 15%. Our dew point 39, so still nice and dry. Here's one of the reasons, that northwesterly flow. So we've been contending with this moisture, the monsoonal flow, for the last really month and a half, 2 months, until we got to the early part of this week, late last week. Now that monsoonal flow has dried up, so they're not even dealing with it in Yuma or Phoenix. High pressure, though, today kind of pulled up a little bit of that southeasterly flow, the circulation around the high counterclockwise, so we end up with just a little bit, a hint of the Salton Sea early this morning. Dew points look great now, 30s and low 40s. It's comfortable out there, and it will remain that way. They dive down tomorrow into the middle 30s and lower 30s, so another comfortable afternoon on tap for your Friday, and of course it's going to be a big travel day. Folks hitting the road for the Labor Day holiday. Everything should be fine on the roads. Weather's not going to be a factor for your trip. Traffic, no doubt, will. Right now, it's a little breezy here and there, but there are no real issues. Even if you want to take the RV out tomorrow, the winds are going to be around 15 to 20 miles per hour, but it should not be an impact on your driving around especially if you're taking those high-profile vehicles out. Weekend looks good for that. Tonight, 77 degrees for our overnight low. That's pretty close to where we were first thing this morning. We got actually down to 76 at the top of the morning this morning, so it was a comfortable start to the day. Low 80s up to 101 by the noontime hour, and then 106 for our afternoon high. The 7-day carries us all the way through your Labor Day weekend, and the numbers look great. We're going to be running slightly below average or right at it. 105 is the average for the date, just in case you're keeping track, keeping score at home. We're not going to exceed that by very much over the next several days, and the overnight lows are absolutely delightful. So this is a very worthy 7-day forecast for the Labor Day weekend and the unofficial start of fall.
Looks fabulous.
Absolutely enjoying this weather.
We don't actually get rid of summer until about the 22nd of the month. So you're going to have to wait.
Okay. Well, we have no choice.
No,
it's easier to wait like this than it was a couple of weeks ago.
No question about that.
Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah.
A homeless woman reportedly killed while a crew cleaned out a homeless encampment.
Next on News Channel 3, why the woman's friends say the crew did not follow procedures. You're watching the Desert's News Leader first at 10 on Fox 11.
Friends say a homeless woman was killed by heavy equipment earlier this month when a homeless encampment was cleared out by state crews here in California. Joe Cahill has more.
It's pretty routine for Caltrans crews to clear entire homeless camps from this area along Highway 99 in Modesto. What's unusual is someone dying in the process.
That morning, yeah.
You saw her alive?
Well, I saw her sleeping.
This man didn't want to be identified, but told us a woman he knew named Shannon was brutally killed in early August as a Caltrans front loader came through to clear the camp. Homeless himself, the man says crews usually do a walkthrough to make sure no one's inside living spaces before vehicles drive through, which Fox 40 confirmed to be true with a Caltrans union rep.
Usually, yeah, you've got 10 people on foot and a tractor and a couple of trucks.
And it was this embankment that many people who live in these homeless encampments say Shannon was living in with her boyfriend when this accident happened. They say that she was sleeping in a cardboard box. Many of them described a gruesome scene. Some saw the aftermath of what they say was a vehicle running over her body.
Parking lot size mess in the ground, on the grass.
But when you say mess, you mean like her body?
It's smashed.
The details of that situation are still under investigation by Fresno CHP, and we're not providing any interviews right now.
This Caltrans public affairs representative wouldn't answer any questions about the death.
When it comes to cleaning up these homeless camps, is there a protocol that workers are supposed to follow when that happens?
Yeah, there is, and I could get you the details on it and send it to you.
Where can we find that?
But she never sent us that information.
That was Joe Cahill reporting.
A measure of justice for a Northern California family who lost a young daughter in a street racing crash nearly a decade ago. As Kiet Doe reports, the suspect who left the country has now finally been caught.
Turns out authorities have been working for years to extradite Shannon Stephen Fox, and the Menlo Park Police Department waited until the very last moment to inform the family they got him.
And yesterday, when we had confirmation he was on a plane headed to the United States, we notified the family.
Back in 2009, investigators say Fox was in a Ford Mustang, drag racing on Bayfront Expressway near Facebook's headquarters, approaching Willow Road at 80 miles an hour when he blew the red light and struck a car with 6-year-old Lisa Xavier in the back seat. While Lisa lay there with critical injuries, Fox jumped into the other car he was racing with and then took off before police and firefighters arrived. Paramedics took Lisa to the hospital where she died. Shortly after, detectives say Fox crossed the Mexican border and then somehow made it to Guatemala, where he likely had friends and family help him lay low for the next 7 years.
Yes, he had a residence, he had a job, and he was living a relatively normal life.
In 2016, with help from the FBI, Guatemalan authorities tracked Fox down and arrested him. He's been fighting the extradition for more than 2 years and finally lost when the Guatemalan Supreme Court rejected his appeal.
To the family of Lisa, we assure you that the men and women of the Menlo Park Police Department have never forgotten your loss. You suffered on that afternoon. We all know that justice delayed is justice denied. So the officers and investigators who are here today worked tirelessly and tenaciously to bring this man to justice, and I thank them all for that.
That was Kiet Doe reporting.
More news, weather, and sports coming up after the break.
You're watching the Desert's News Leader first at 10 on Fox 11.
Now from the Desert's News Leader, this is News Channel 3 first at 10 on Fox 11. Your local news 1 hour earlier.
Welcome back. It is the bottom of the hour. I'm John White.
And I'm Karen Devine. We've learned now that 7 people are confirmed dead tonight, dozens others being treated after that Greyhound bus crashed in New Mexico. You know, it happened on the I-40 a little after noon today. New Mexico State Police say a semi-truck's tire blew out. That truck crossing the median and hitting a Greyhound bus carrying 49 people hit him head on. Witnesses say they could hear screaming from that bus. Bystanders trying to rescue people from windows. The bus was headed to Los Angeles and expected to stop actually in Indio, right here in the Coachella Valley, just after 10 o'clock tonight. One man we spoke to says he used the same route the bus was on when he lived in New Mexico.
It happens a lot in I-40. A lot of semis do have a lot of accidents in between Gallup and Albuquerque, you know, but never think of an accident that bad on a Greyhound bus.
We still don't know who was on the bus at the time of the crash. We don't have a list of names yet. There are multiple hotlines available to family and friends who believed a loved one was a part of this crash. You can find those numbers on our website, KESQ.com.
A property owner in Palm Springs is raising safety concerns over blight now that a number of controversial trees have been removed along the city's golf course. This comes 3 months after tamarisk trees were removed in the Crossley Track neighborhood. Now a woman who owns property across the fairway says her tenant's view is this blight from a backyard. It's visible from the Mountain Shadows communities at the Tockwitz Creek Golf Resort.
There are children that play here on the golf course, and for a child to go inside of an appliance that's not safe.
The city says they're addressing the concerns of her community, and they've scheduled free weekend cleanups for property owners in the Crossley Track. Most of the homeowners have complied so far. The trees were removed back in May after some residents argued that they were planted decades ago for racist reasons to block the views of the historically black neighborhood from the golf course.
Well, our weather is just delightful. First Alert meteorologist Patrick Evans is tracking your conditions. Patrick, I hope this weather is going to stick around.
That's the plan right now, Karen. We are looking at what will be an extended period of very sustained, comfortable conditions, low humidity, temperatures around our seasonal normals. We saw just a little bit of cloud cover over our local mountains today, otherwise mostly sunny. It was beautiful. It did get a little humid in the late morning hours because we were seeing some southeasterly breezes. That backed off, the dew points dried out, and it was lovely for the remainder of the day. 94 right now. The high today was 108. That is 3 degrees above average, but well below record levels, and it felt a lot better when you factor in the dew points and humidities. And right now we're watching winds that are a little breezy. How strong is that going to be through the rest of the weekend? Well, this is the story, and through the mouth of the pass there may be some windy conditions, but even to Friday and Saturday we're talking about winds maxing out around 15 to 25 miles per hour, and those are sustained gusts, and that's north of the freeway. So actually it's setting up to be a very, very pleasant weekend here in the valley and elsewhere. I'll tell you more about that in our First Alert forecast.
Thank you, Patrick. A man who allegedly attempted to run over a Banning police officer with a car this past weekend was charged with assault with a deadly weapon today. Police tried arresting 25-year-old Jacob Estrada Saturday in connection with active felony warrants for his arrest. Tonight, court records show that he had an ongoing vehicle theft case in Palm Springs, as well as a parole violation warrant. Authorities say Estrada was spotted in a car, then he sped off toward the officer, ultimately crashing into an unmarked police vehicle. Well, the car broke down and Estrada ran off, barricading himself inside a home for hours. He eventually surrendered to police.
Guilty is the plea today for a man who now admits he exposed himself at a Palm Desert park last month. A witness reported seeing 26-year-old Cody Edwin Larson exposing himself around 6 in the morning at Palm Desert Civic Center Park. He took off before officers could arrive and was arrested the following morning on San Pablo. Court records show Larson was previously convicted of indecent exposure. He was found guilty and released for time served. Larson now scheduled to be sentenced on this latest case next month.
The Palm Springs Walk of Stars nomination deadline is tomorrow for the 2018-19 selections. This will be determined by new criteria to tighten up the requirements for applicants. Those looking to apply may do so under 7 categories, including humanitarian, entertainment, and sports. There are more than 400 stars on display in downtown Palm Springs. Coming up in sports, the Dodgers and Diamondbacks start a key divisional series in LA.
Plus some Thursday night football. 2 local teams in action tonight. Highlights are coming up. You're watching News Channel 3, the Desert's news leader, first at 10 on Fox 11.
This is the best local sports show with sports director Blake Arthur.
We have high school football on a Thursday night leading the show. Usually the games are played on Friday night, but due to a lack of referees, games have to be played on Thursday and or Saturday. Tonight, we had 2 local teams in action. Just a beautiful night in our desert for some football. Rancho Mirage on the short week hosting Colton. Rocking the home gray uniforms are the Rattlers. First drive for them, Emmanuel Sanchez. Emmanuel means God with us. Sanchez with some God-given talent, shifty and slippery run. He'd finish the drive with a touchdown. More Rancho, 4th and goal. In Tally, they trust. David Tally, quarterback, punches it in. It's 17-0 Rattlers. But here comes Colton. They like that wing tee old school look. Brennan Ramos hits the hole and he gone. 45-yard scamper for 6. It was the only touchdown of the game for Colton. And after Rancho gave up that touchdown, their D coordinator was not happy. I guess he wanted the shutout. But here's Rancho opening up the playbook. Tally to Alejandro Zamora. Big game for the first down to set up this touchdown by, well, guess who? Take a guess. You know who it is. It's Tally. Kid's a stud. Rancho rolls 38-6 the final. The Rattlers are 3-0 to start the season. They look good, and they know how to celebrate a win. Nice win for LD and his team. Indio also in action tonight, hosting Brawley. They're a powerhouse on the California-Arizona border. Big boys up front for Brawley. They went to work early. Michael Moreno gets the rock, and he's a tough man to bring down. Big fella toting it all the way to the house, 7-0 Brawley. But Indio kept fighting. Senior quarterback Abacan Martinez leading his team down the field. Nice pitch and catch to Matthew Cruz for the first down. The Rajas actually got all the way to the goal line, but they call a pass on 4th down, and that's not going to work. Kind of like the Patriots and the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. You just got to run the football in those situations. This was a team that was shut out in their season opener despite the lack of points on the board. They had some bright spots. Cruz again there, but then Brawley. Look at this one-handed catch. Offense for them was in Cruz control. Great grab by Damian Reyes. Brawley buries Indio 56-zip. Rajas have been outscored 117-0 in their first 2 games. Yikes. How about some high school volleyball? La Quinta won a tournament in Hemet over the weekend. Nice win Tuesday over Redlands, but they ran into a very good Sultana team tonight. Blackhawks down 2-0, but showed some fight. Kylia Hawkins giving LQ some momentum, and then their captain, Hallie Carter. Kill for her. Blackhawks led much of that 3rd set, but Sultana just too good as they sweep La Quinta. Finish with some baseball. The start of a pivotal series for the Dodgers with the rival Diamondbacks. Coming into tonight, LA was behind Arizona by 1 game in the National League West. And I am told by my producer, Kevin Davison, does a fine job for us, that we do have highlights. There they are. David Peralta, 3-run homer in the 5th. That's off Rich Hill, gave the Snakes a 3-0 lead. 26 of the year for Peralta. Rich Hill was actually pretty solid in this game. He had 7 strikeouts in 5 innings. Manny Machado would have hit a home run in the 6th inning to make it 3-1, but that's it and that's all. Dodgers lose 3-1 the final. They now trail Arizona by 2 games in the division. That's it for sports. News continues after the break. You're watching the Desert's News Leader.
The former college student accused of impersonating a doctor at a children's hospital in Orange County. As Will Carr reports, authorities say he was repeatedly able to sneak in over the span of several months.
Authorities say 23-year-old Aria Ukuzian, pretending to be a doctor, fooled security at the Children's Hospital of Orange County, telling them he lost his ID, even gaining access to restricted floors. Ukuzian sneaking in at least 7 times between April and June. He also allegedly even gave advice to a patient complaining of a growth on his neck at University of California, Irvine. The Children's Hospital believes he did not interact with their patients, but after he tried to get access to their mental health unit, they called the police.
He was already wearing your doctor's robe with his name on it and credentials. He was wearing around his neck a stethoscope.
So he looked like a doctor?
Oh, absolutely.
Matthew, did you treat patients?
This case eerily similar to that of Florida teen Matthew Scheid in 2011. Then 17-year-old Scheid posed as a physician's assistant for a month.
Dressed in his scrubs, the stethoscope around the neck, even had the terminology.
Scheid was sentenced to a year in jail.
Ucuzion faces 11 years behind bars if convicted, and authorities admit that it's possible that he could have interacted with other patients, so they're asking for anybody who had contact with him to come forward. In Orange County, California, Will Carr, ABC News.
Now, first alert weather.
Gorgeous night out there. Our temperature is very pleasant. We're down to 94, the dew point at 39 degrees, so it's nice and dry. There's a little bit of a breeze out of the northwest. That will continue over the next couple of days. In fact, I think it will intensify as we move into Saturday night and Sunday evening. Both of those afternoon and evenings, you're going to see some gusty winds coming out of the west, northwest. Right now, we've got clear skies, and there's nothing that will give us anything other than that. High, thin clouds up north, but they were streaming by pretty quickly. The area of high pressure will be dominant. It will keep us under fair weather and actually a very stable weather pattern over the next couple of days. With the high pressure holding on, the temperatures look great. The dew points are at bay, and one of the things we've been contending with most of the summer, really the last couple of months, have been very high dew points, monsoonal moisture, and just, you know, that moisture creeping up from the south and working its way into the Coachella Valley. This graph indicates that is no longer the case, and certainly as we move into Friday and Saturday, those dew points are going to get a little lower. There will be some fire weather danger because the dew points are going to be so low. It's going to be very dry and also, as I mentioned, a little breezy. And when that happens, it's not a good fire combination. Winds right now are breezy, but not terrible. 16-mile-per-hour winds up in Desert Hot Springs. Similar numbers here in Thousand Palms outside of the studios. The typical triangle of wind here, Palm Springs, Desert Hot Springs, Thousand Palms, they're all checking in with winds above 10 miles per hour. As you move east and south in the valley, the winds calm down just a little bit. Overnight tonight, I expect numbers to be in the mid to upper 70s. As we were first thing this morning, it was comfortable and pleasant. Temperatures in the 80s early tomorrow, 101 at noon, and 106 for your daytime high. Looking ahead as we prepare for the Labor Day weekend, now traveling, you're going to find temperatures mainly in the upper 70s around much of the state, in the mountains, at the beaches. Here, we're going to be running a good bit warmer than that. 106 degrees tomorrow. 105 on Saturday, and then a string of 104, 105 days. That puts us right at our seasonal norms. But I think notably, without humidity and temperatures down in the mid-70s, this is as comfortable as we have been probably since early July or even maybe late June, because the monsoonal season got off to such an early start this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Feeling like the beginning of the end of summer.
And thankfully so.
Yeah.
We can use a little.
Ready to put it in the rear view.
Summer officially ends around the 22nd of September, so we got a 3 weeks to wait, but
well, let's see what happens. Feels good right now, though.
You're going to be outside in the pool barbecuing.
Yeah,
it's going to be fine.
Works for me. Thanks, Patrick. Well, Labor Day is becoming a big day for retailers.
Next on News Channel 3, why many major stores will be offering big end-of-season deals and discounts. You're watching the Desert's News Leader first at 10 on Fox 11. Labor Day is the last summer holiday, and it may be a great time to shop. Major department stores and online retailers are offering big end-of-season deals and discounts. In tonight's Consumer Watch, Meredith Wood takes a closer look at some of the steals you might be able to score over the long 3-day weekend.
Summer may be coming to an end, but get ready for some scorching hot deals on the first Monday of September. Mattresses and appliances are Labor Day sale staples, as well as anything summer-related like clothing, patio furniture, and grills. So here are some of the places where you can score some really great deals. At Best Buy, you can save up to 40% on appliances through September 12th. Home Depot, Lowe's, Sears, and JCPenney, they're also offering the same deal for appliances. Online retailers Wayfair and Overstock are offering up to 70% off furniture and other items. Experts say now is the best time to buy next summer's swimming gear. Old Navy, J. Crew, Banana Republic, and many other clothing stores will be offering deep discounts on summer clothes and shoes. When it comes to electronics, though, experts suggest you wait for deeper discounts on Black Friday. However, Dell is offering 40% off laptops, desktops, and TVs. And you can get Amazon's Echo device for up to $100 off through Labor Day. For Consumer Watch, I'm Meredith Wood.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is warning people about the potential dangers of eating foods prepared with liquid nitrogen, such as ice cream, cereal, or even cocktails. The FDA says injuries have occurred from handling or eating products prepared by adding liquid nitrogen immediately before consumption, even after the liquid nitrogen was fully evaporated. The FDA did not say how many reports of injuries it has received or provide details on life-threatening cases.
Starbucks is quietly testing out healthier Frappuccino recipes in a bid to entice Frappuccino lovers. Starbucks says Frappuccino sales have dropped because people are more health conscious these days. The company has been testing new Frappuccino recipes in 600 stores across California, Missouri, and Rhode Island. The key to the new recipes has been separating the flavoring from the sugar. The new Frappuccino recipe contains fewer calories and less sugar. The 16-ounce caramel variety contains 370 calories instead of 420 and includes 49 grams of sugar instead of 67 grams. The new recipes are part of Starbucks' effort to reduce sugar in beverages by 25% by 2020. And I don't think I've ever said Frappuccino that many times.
No. But I'll tell you, I'd like some dessert now.
In a decade.
It looks like a shake, Frappuccinos.
Yeah.
You know? A final look at your First Alert forecast is next on News Channel 3.
You're watching the Desert's News Leader first at 10 on Fox 11.
Finally tonight at 10, check out this seal's ridiculously cute encounter with a butterfly at the Oregon Zoo. The adorable meet and greet was captured by the zoo's dive safety officer, Micah Reese. Kaya is 3 years old, Pacific Arbor seal, who's lived at the zoo since 2015. As you can see, she is very, very friendly and having fun with the butterfly. Just wants to play. Oh, that's neat.
Very good.
You can watch that all day long.
Our weather's very good, too.
Yeah, it's terrific. It's not as good as a seal waving at a butterfly, but it is pretty good.
Yeah.
Temperatures running right around our seasonal, maybe a little bit above seasonal normals for the next couple of days. But stronger northwesterly winds will kick up on Saturday and Sunday. It'll be a little breezy Saturday and Sunday evening, but should be a terrific Labor Day weekend and a good-looking week next week as well.
All right.
I like the sound of that.
Looking forward to it. Thank you for watching News Channel 3 first at 10 on Fox.
More news coming up in its way over on KESQ, and you can always get breaking news online at KESQ.com. Have a great night.